不少人应该都听说过美国看医生很贵，而且是贵到倾家荡产那种。也不少人都很以台湾健保的性价比自豪，觉得这是台湾之光。然而实际情形是，医疗不是慈善事业，如果医护人员没有得到相应的报酬，那最后就会变成劣币驱良币的恶性循环。那美国医疗又到底贵的有没有道理？是坑还是神？刚好加拿大出生在美国工作跟定居的 Peter 阿提亚医生对这个问题有很精辟的分析。他以加拿大社会主义式的国家福利医疗对比分析美国完全市场制的医疗体系，相信能够让观众朋友全方位审视医疗收费的合理性。Real Life Kaizen 将为大家把英语圈的生活改善新知，定期以超浓缩加画重点的形式制作成影片，供各位朋友参考及分享。您的支持是我持续做这个节目的动力。喜欢的话，请务必订阅、点赞、按小铃铛哦。
Did you see the thing I posted a couple of weeks ago about this bill we got from when Jill was with our middle son in San Diego visiting a friend, and he was sick, so she had to take him to an ER, right? Like our doctor's not there, right? Obviously we live here. They did like regular chemistry lab on him. That's like about a $12 blood test, and gave him like, I don't know, 250 to 500 cc of IV fluid. That was it. What do you think the bill was?
$1,200.
I don't remember it because I'd have to look at the post I put up. I think the bill was $6,000. Of which we owed $2,000.
That's insane.
That's problematic.
That's a real problem.
Yeah, it might have been more than that. $6,000 bill. Our insurance somehow picked up maybe $3,500. We were stuck with $2,500. Juxtapose that with the following fact: fewer than 50% of Americans today, if given 24 hours, can produce $2,500 in cash.
Jesus Christ.
When we say healthcare is the leading cause of personal bankruptcy, it's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Like there's nothing else matters besides healthcare when it comes to personal bankruptcy. I mean, this does infuriate me to no end. Like I sometimes think, like, is there any other problem I would ever be interested to devoting my full attention to besides the problem I work on now? That's the only other problem that would tempt me. We're probably up to $10,000 per capita. We're actually probably more than that. We're probably $12,000, $14,000 per capita. So we're at 2 to 5x every other developed nation in what we spend on healthcare.
But why?
And we get worse out. Okay, so the big reason comes down to made-up numbers. Look at my ER example. The blood test cost, the actual cost of ordering that blood test is $12. The bag of IV fluid is probably $38. Why do they inflate the cost so much? It's because they play a shell game with the insurance company. So they say, we negotiate different rates with different insurance companies, and we're going to build up the price enormously, but we're going to offer you a really big discount. And we're going to make you our preferred network. And there's a quid pro quo here, which is the price is enormous, but you don't actually have to pay that much. We're going to discount it to you. But if somebody comes in out of network, which we were, right? We were out of network because probably our network is optimized around being in Austin and not in San Diego. You're going to get screwed. And of course, if you don't have insurance, forget about it. You're paying the fake money price.
Especially if there's a real injury.
Oh, yeah.
A real injury, you need surgery, and you're not insured. Oh, my God.
The other thing is we don't have the same laws around like drug pricing. The United States basically subsidizes the rest of the world in drug pricing. We, in exchange for getting first dibs on the best drugs, we pay a higher price for them. And other countries are basically not going to pay that because you also have better purchasing power. If you look at Canada, for example, the government is buying the drug, not the payer. It's a totally different system. The challenge is no system is going to be perfect, but what really bothers me about the discussion is we're missing the point that there are 3 variables that need to be optimized around. And everybody just talks about their favorite one. But you can't talk about one without talking about the other 2. Because if you pull on one lever, you got to let up on one of the other levers. So the 3 levers are cost. How much does it cost to deliver this care? The second is quality. How good is the care? And the third one is access. How many people fall through the cracks? So if you look at the United States, we're very good on quality. When we deliver care, it's the best. There's a reason people come from all over the world here when they need their cancer surgery. We are certainly at or above the best for everything that would be done in medicine. On cost, we are absolutely the worst. There's literally no country that pays more than we do for a given service.
Wow.
And on access, we're horrible for a developed nation.
On cost, like what is the difference between, like, say, United States
and Canada?
Yeah.
2.5x, I would bet.
Wow.
Maybe 3x.
Wow. That's so crazy. And that's not like a third world country or something like that.
Right.
Like, that's what's...
Canada is killing us in cost. They're killing us in access because everybody's covered,
Yes.
but we have better quality. So you have to. So
Right.
that's the trade-off. Like,
Right.
I do talk about how my mom is getting largely veterinary medicine in Canada. Her healthcare is horrible, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Totally
I've had
unacceptable.
many friends in Canada that have complained.
No,
a
it's
lot.
totally unacceptable.
So they have bad care.
But
It's
at least
more
everybody gets it,
accessible,
and it doesn't
everybody
cost
gets
you
it.
any money.
Is it bad care because the physicians are not incentivized to provide better care because they don't make as much money?
No. I don't want to speak out of school because I'm so far removed from it. When I was growing up, they had introduced salary caps. So physicians' salaries were capped. When you hit your cap, you stopped working for the year. So high-earning surgeons would stop working in August because they'd hit their like, let's say the salary cap was $300,000. If you earned $300,000 by August, you weren't going to get paid anymore.
Though they would just sit down and sit out the rest of the year.
Yep, and come back in
then
January.
It would create this real problem where there was a bottleneck.
Shortage of docs. But the bigger issue is just that the government is in charge of what gets done and what does not get done. And there's sort of shortages, right? So if, like, things that you and I take for granted, right? If you tweaked your knee at jiu-jitsu tonight, you go get an MRI tomorrow. That doesn't happen in Canada. In fact, in certain provinces, it's illegal to have private clinics where you can go pay out of your own pocket to get an MRI expedited.
Oh my God, it's illegal?
Illegal. I think Ontario is one of those provinces, by the way.
Really?
Yep.
So Toronto.
In Toronto, I do not believe it is legal to have private medical clinics where you can pay out of pocket. So this is where when people say, oh, we should just be like Canada, I'm like, no, we should do something Canada does. We should have universal coverage.
And then have the option.
And then you have the option to bolt on.
But would that be sort of like public defenders versus a really good attorney?
One of the things you have to do is provide primary care and emergency services for free, because that's where 90% of your care would be delivered.
And is the problem that because of these made-up numbers that you discussed earlier, that these people, in this country at least, are accustomed to charging these exorbitant fees, like $6,000 for a bag of IV?
Oh, yeah. Look, I get a colonoscopy every 3 years. So I had my last one this time a year ago. And it's funny, that one should have been covered. I don't remember the details on it, but because I was over 45 at that point, so it counted as a screening colonoscopy. But I've historically always had to pay cash for my colonoscopies because I started doing them when I was 40. The cash cost of getting a colonoscopy at one of the best guys in New York City, who I've always gone to, is $2,000. That's the fully loaded cash cost. That means that's covering the facility fee, the anesthesia, his fee, etc. The one I got here in Austin, where I did it through insurance, the fee was $6,000. I got the bill. Anyway, my point is my cash out of pocket was almost as bad as the cash I paid for just a full-up cash one. It had a whole bunch of made-up numbers. I actually called my gastroenterologist, the guy who did it, and I was like, you got to walk me through this. Because, like, I'm struggling to understand these costs. And he couldn't really explain it. He's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really understand it. He's like everybody has sort of a different amount. You know, it's like being at like a bazaar where it's like, oh, I have special price for you today.